Hello, my astrology friends and family. I'm here today with my beloved friends and colleagues, Elena Bensonov and Alejandro Ferradas. You know them from previous videos and interviews we've done. And we're going to talk. I asked them today to calculate the vibration of Sun in signs and Moon in signs. And if we have time, we can do Venus in signs and Mars in signs, or leave it for another time. Hello, Elena. Hello, Alejandro.
Hi, Lada. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
And we always spend like an hour before that talking.
Yes,
well, thank you so much for taking the time. Can you explain the technology that you use and just the scale of consciousness so people are aware of what we're doing and we can start?
Yes, of course. So we always give credit to Dr. Hawkins, who created the initial scale of consciousness, right? And he used kinesiology in his work. So we apply that portion to the technology that we've created, or the method that we've created, using 3 different instruments. We read frequencies of people, places. Of course, now you've asked us to read constellations and different zodiac signs. So many things. We actually read houses, properties for people, different countries, businesses.
You read my house that I just bought, and I gave you 2 houses just by picture. And you immediately said, wow, this house is vibration of love. And it's you check if there's entities, spirits. And it's true that the person built it with love. And everyone, that the neighbors, they came and said, this house was built with so much love. And it was incredible. And I got that house.
Amazing. We actually just did a reading for somebody who also asked us to read 2 properties. And they just gave us addresses. We didn't have the photographs of the properties. And what was interesting is the one of the houses that we read was brand new. They just remodeled and they built it. And then when we gave them the reading, it wasn't high. It was actually quite low. They said, wow, because somebody came by the property and said, you know, this land has a lot of trauma and this land hasn't been healed. We did not know that.
Wow.
But we love getting a lot of these confirmations. Of course, we've done thousands of readings. So by now, it's
yes,
been
Elena and Andrew also have in their website, Holistic, I'll put a link below. They have a subscription, which is extremely affordable. I forgot what it is.
It's $111 a year.
$11, yeah, $111 per year, where every week they make a video with vibrational readings of different people, different substances, different medical products, whatever the community requests. It's incredible. It's like so opening. Now every time writers, teachers, and I listen to the vibration of a person that they read, like a poet or writer. And if it's high vibration, I start reading their books, and it's incredible how, so you don't waste your time basically putting negative things in your head. So I really love your work. I think you're sent on this earth with this mission at this time when the information is so confusing, and when all we have is the intellect to rely on. The intellect is very unreliable. We still don't have a strong intuition. And thankfully, now the higher realms are allowing us of those technologies, quantum, scalar wave. I'm not sure what it is.
Yes.
So happy you developed this method. And I asked Elena, and the scale of consciousness is from 0 to 1,000, yes?
Yes. 0 to 1,000, 1,000 being a fully integrated experience, whether we're looking at a person or a place, right? And 500 is the frequency of love. 700 is where enlightenment begins. And we say that anything below the frequency of 200, of course, all of it is based on emotions, on processed emotions below 200. It's something that we also call the hijacking of the matrix if it's below the frequency of 200, because people tend to fall into the victim mindset, the victim mentality. So 200 is the bridge of courage that every human being, of course, is capable of walking through. And this is the first moment of true recognition that you are not only connected to yourself, but to everyone and everything around you. Mm-hmm. So it's been such an enlightening experience for both of us to reveal this information, to share this knowledge and wisdom. And then, of course, the second part of the readings that we do has to do with percentages. And Dr. Hawkins focused on that just one number. He read one number for people, places, right, in different scriptures.
The
And we
overall energy.
overall, yes. But we recognize that we're not just that one number, and that number shifts and changes throughout life. The way someone might view their creative aspect or their relationships or finances or health or philanthropy might be very different. So we're absolutely not just one stagnant number. And this has been proven over and over and over in all of the thousands of private readings, public readings that we're doing and sharing this information. It's really changed our life. It's changing how we perceive reality. It's teaching us also so much. And we have this beautiful community that we interact with every Tuesday. It's totally open. People share, ask lots of questions and many requests. And based on that, we're able to expand even further and go deeper. In fact, the other day, somebody asked us, because we reveal incarnation frequency and birth frequency, and there's absolutely a difference, right? In most cases. And somebody posed a question and said, well, what happens before incarnation? Is the frequency different? And we thought, okay, how interesting, right? So we just recently started exploring that as well. And we're finding that in some cases, yes, it's different. And in other cases, it's similar. So we're still collecting data. But today actually was one of the episodes that we revealed that in.
Oh, wow. So basically, before you incarnate, there's still many levels of a boat of vibration in, let's say, heaven,
yes,
the life after death. So some people, like they say, you die, but you don't change. You might not have the body, you might feel lighter, but if you are a liar and a cheater, you don't suddenly become an angel. So you probably join some kind of vibrational region that is comfortable for you, that doesn't burn you. So I guess, yeah. So we can only advance our vibration here, or maybe that would be interesting, maybe to explore as well. Whether wow, amazing! Like every time I speak with you, I learn something new.
Yes, and we have to thank, of course, our community, because our community is amazing, and we listen to all of our members because it's important for us. I always say, it's a mutual process, because as we learn and we grow and we hear and we share, this is how we evolve as human beings, and this is how we expand our wisdom, our knowledge. So it's truly remarkable.
Oh, I bet you never thought you'd be reading frequencies on sun in signs and moon in signs.
No.
And to be honest, Elena and Alejandro know nothing about astrology. They're like, what? Moon in what signs? And I had to give them moon in Aries, moon in Taurus. Can you read it? They have absolutely no partial attachment because they don't know what this is. They just gave me the numbers that they measure with different instruments, double blind placebo, and they get to the same numbers together. And I was quite shocked for some of the numbers. I don't want you to judge any of those numbers. I want you to, what I'm seeing it is that, say if you have moon in a sign and the vibration is low, it does not mean all people with the moon in that sign have this low vibration. What I'm seeing it is that this is the collective energy of the moon in that sign or the sun in that sign for the humanity currently. And like Alejandro and Elena can tell you, currently humanity is vibrating at, what is it, around 200?
230.
230. So probably 80% of the population, if not 90, are below 200, which is the level of fear, all the unprocessed feelings. I'm not saying they're bad people, but there's a lot of pain there. There's living with fear, just their survival, competitiveness. Life is not joy or pleasure. Life is a struggle. So if 90% of humanity, or 80 probably, live in those vibrations below 200, bare minimum survival. And that's why probably the overall values of what they've measured, planets and signs, is much lower than what we expect. And I believe that in 20 or 30 years, if we measure it again, and like they saw that humanity will jump, they measured in 25 years that humanity will suddenly jump tremendously. So in the next 25 years, we're growing like we've never grown in the past thousands of years. Well, they could measure the future ahead. So this is fascinating. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it, our first episode together. So I'm sure these measures will shift into the future, but currently we're at this level, and let's figure it out. Let's find out. Let's start with the sun sign.
Yes. So we have done them, and I think we've placed them a little bit out of the order. I'll try to move it around. So apologies.
No problem.
Okay. So Sun in Aquarius. Sun in Aquarius, the frequency was 400, and 400 is the frequency of reason. Again, the analytical frequency.
This is incredible because Aquarius, people that are Sun in Aquarius, they're scientifically minded, they're extremely reasonable people. They work through here. That's absolutely
amazing. Yes. Now, Sun in Pisces. Sun in Pisces, the frequency measured at 700, which is 700 is the beginning stage of enlightenment path. Enlightenment goes from 700 to 1000.
Wow. So it's interesting because Pisces, the Sun in Pisces is considered the most spiritual position for the Sun, because Pisces is the sign of merging with God, with unity. And that's enlightenment, isn't it? This is enlightenment,
yes.
Becoming one. But I don't think all Pisces on the earth are enlightened. But I think it's like a potential for that. It's a much easy access they have to that potential.
Yes. Now, Aries, Sun in Aries measured at the frequency of 200, which is the frequency of courage.
Well, what can I say? Aries is the sign of the warrior. Courage to fight, to overcome challenges.
Amazing.
Have courage.
Amazing. Sun in Taurus, 100, which is the frequency of fear.
Okay, now this surprises me because Taurus are usually quite calm people, but in the context of current times, I'm wondering, because Sun in Taurus, it's so important for them to have material stability, to be safe. We're not living in safe times, and we're living in a material world, but it's not so. Maybe it creates a lot of fear for safety, a lot of fear for material, especially as a majority. I'm not saying every Sun in Taurus is like that. We've read people Sun in Taurus that have a vibration of 500, they're personal. We're talking collectively that maybe a lot of people, or let's say that are lower on the scale of consciousness, feel a lot of fear if they have the Sun in Taurus for material stability. While Sun in Pisces people, they don't care. Sun in Pisces, it's like, even if the world falls apart, they're already with one leg out of this world. They already live in different dimensions to some extent.
Okay, makes sense. Sun in Gemini. Sun in Gemini, the frequency was 200. Again, the frequency of courage.
Gemini is one very experimental sign. They like to try different things. And but I'm surprised. I don't know what to say here. They're very mental sign and experimental, usually positive, more on the positive side.
Would you say that maybe it's about adaptability? Courage also requires adaptability.
Oh, they're the most adaptable sign. One of the most adaptable, absolutely.
Okay.
And curiosity, they're very curious.
Curious, yes. Sun in Cancer. Sun in Cancer, the frequency is 110, which is fear.
Oh, wow. Maybe, did you hear that? my husband is hiding the stroppy. I'll say Sun in Cancer are known, again, that the most important thing for them is security and emotional stability. And they're very steeped in their feelings. And they're very easily absorb the collective feelings as well. So maybe it's easier to fall into fear there because of that. It's easier to worry, and because for them it's so important that the family is stable, that there is emotional nurturing and support. And it's again another thing that it's not guaranteed ever.
Yes. Okay, Sun in Leo. Sun in Leo, the frequency is 175, which is the frequency of pride.
What can I say? Anyone who knows astrology knows that Leo is prideful. Of course, Sun in Leo has amazing qualities that some Sun in Leos might vibrate at inspiration and creativity, because the high vibration of Leo is creativity and unconditional love. Leo can love. But as majority, I suppose, most Leos, as I said, like 90% are below 200 as humans in a vibration currently, in incarnation. So maybe that's why Leo would be pride, because that's one of the qualities of Leo, to be prideful.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sun in Virgo, the frequency is 225, which is the frequency of courage. So courage goes from 200 to 249 before it switches over to neutrality. So this is courage.
Virgo is known as the sign of service. They want to help others. They are very health conscious usually. They are trying to deal with they usually heal in some way others as well, Virgo energy. But I guess you have to be courageous to go and help others. And to Virgo is a sign of fixing problems as well, so that's connected, isn't it? To go and fix problems, that's the courage to overcome difficulties.
Yes. I like what you said in the very beginning, and it makes sense to me. I mean, I know I'm not an astrologer, of course, but it makes sense that these numbers are absolutely related to the collective of what is happening on the planet at the moment. And these frequencies reflect that.
Yes, I'm sure, because I'm sure that a time in the future we'll see very different ones according to the situation, to the level of consciousness of humans. When it happens that in 25 years, like you see humans gradually and then suddenly jump, I'm sure that most of the signs will vibrate at much higher.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That will be interesting for us to, I think, also test and see. Okay, Sun in Libra. Sun in Libra, the frequency is 650. 650 is the frequency of peace.
Wow. Well, Libra rules peace. What can I say? Libra is a peacemaker.
Fascinating. Okay, amazing.
So it's quite good, because in astrology, traditional astrology says, oh, the sun in Libra is weak because your ego is not so strong there. So you can't fight for yourself so much. You kind of concede a lot. But you see, it's actually quite good in vibration. Just like they say, sun in Pisces, oh, you know, these people are kind of weaker. Again, weak bonds with ego. But that raises you on the level of consciousness into much more joyful feelings of peace.
Yes. Right. Interesting. Sun in Sagittarius. Sun in Sagittarius, the frequency is 250, which is the frequency of neutrality. And one of the ways, because people say to us, well, what is neutrality really? Neutral zone sometimes can be a place of recalibration. It's also a place of observation. Sometimes it's a frequency when a person has to go through war, their own personal war journey, and they come to this frequency. It's a place where you can kind of set your wings and take a deep breath. And that's what that reflects to me, the 250, Sun in Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm. The Sun in Sagittarius, they're known as quite, in astrology at least, that they're very positive people generally, but I've heard many Sagittarius say, well, I'm not the positive person, but they have kind of a view above on things. They, when things get hard, they know how to see it from a bit of a higher perspective, so they don't feel so drawn into the drama. And that's their philosophical side. And you said maybe it gives them neutrality, this sense of neutrality, that they're not so drawn in the drama of the world.
That makes sense.
Interpreted at least.
Yes. Sun in Capricorn. The frequency there is 200. Courage.
Yeah, well, it takes courage to be Capricorn. I'll need courage to be a Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign, Sun in Capricorn is that it sees life is difficult, but it says, I will struggle and climb up the mountains and I'll use all my efforts to get there. Isn't that what courage is? Exactly the vibration.
Yes, wow.
Yeah, so they don't think things are easy, just like Aries people. They don't think things are easy, but Aries like, okay, I'm gonna win. Well, Capricorn is like, I'm gonna start little by little and I'm gonna get on top of that mountain. So they don't feel defeated, because defeat energies are below 200 or even below 100.
Yes. I think that's it, right? Did I read Sun in Scorpio? I did, right?
Oh, no.
No. Oh, we missed it. Sorry. Sun in Scorpio, the frequency is 125, which is the frequency of desire, but it's an unfulfilled desire. And usually it reflects some kind of an addiction.
Well, Scorpio is known as the obsessive sign. and they have very strong sexual desires. It's known, or very strong. They have such powerful desires that eat them up sometimes. I'm not talking all Scorpios. Some Scorpios are amazing healers. Some Scorpios are the biggest transformative psychologists and so deep and profound people. But Scorpio on the unregenerated level is known with its obsessive tendencies. And that's addictive almost, isn't it? That's a strong desire that controls you. So,
I have a question for you, maybe from an astrological point of view. It just came to me. Do you think that these frequencies and also sun signs are reflections of karma, like the collective karma of these signs?
Of humans or generally? I don't understand, sorry.
Generally, of course, humans that have this in their charts, right, as a sun sign, perhaps there's some kind of karma related to these frequencies.
Maybe a person with sun in Scorpio comes from a lineage of incarnations that there was a lot more unfulfilled desires, so they're craving more. Or people with the sun in Taurus come from a lineage where they never had financial security, and in this lifetime they come in order to create it, because the sun is the kingdom you create. So when you have a sun in kingdom, for them it's so important to create financial security. So maybe they come from a background where there wasn't financial security, and their mission now is to build kingdom in finance, but that's why they feel fear. While sun in Pisces, that's interesting. I don't know, maybe they come here with a lineage to detach from this material world, and maybe they come from a lineage where they develop this kind of not lineage, but a number of lifetimes. So I don't know, I'm just making assumptions. Whatever astrology you're born with, it's a continuation, and it's something that you from your previous lifetimes, that it's where it ended, and the unresolved problems that you have to work with in this lifetime. So I guess Leos, they have to work on pride, Scorpios on desire, Taurus on fear about security, Cancer on fear. I know that Cancer and Scorpio are signs that have a lot of fears because of that. Virgo and Aries and in courage, and Sagittarius, maybe this also shows what you have to work on. Sagittarius has to work to be neutral a bit more, and so on. And Libras to work on peace. But it's incredible how the meanings of the sign align so much with the vibrations.
With the frequency.
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. A lot to think about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alejandro, would you like to do the moon? And I want to make a warning. The moon, when you gave me the numbers, has much lower vibrations. And I want to warn people again, because people get very sensitive about the moon. I want to warn you not to take it personally. We don't know why it's showing like that. All I can tell is that in Kabbalistic astrology, the moon is known, and even in the tarot, in the card of the moon is where our fears are contained, because it's our emotional body. And currently on Earth, we carry the most pain in the emotional body. So the moon is the astral, the emotions. So that's why you'll see some lower vibrations than normal here. And in a Kabbalistic astrology, the moon carries the past, the biggest problems of our past that we work on. So maybe that's why, and again, because we get hit the hardest in our feelings. The sun is our reason. We don't get hit so much there, but in our feelings, we get hit the hardest collectively. So maybe that's why collectively, the position of the moon in signs shows lower vibrations.
It makes sense. Makes sense to me.
I'm just trying to use my analytical Aquarian energy to figure out, I might be pulling it out of my fingers.
Yes.
Yes, but it sounds good. Sounds very good. Thank you. So now moon in, what do I start? I start with Aquarius, right?
Yes.
I have no idea which one is the first or the last, but I will do my best. Moon in Aquarius is 100. Is the vibrational frequency, which is the level of fear.
Fear, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't, with the moon, I just thought and I can't decide. honestly, I couldn't decipher them. I'm just, hopefully people will make their mind up.
Yeah, and maybe bring in some ideas of why it could be,
Yes,
right?
yes. I know that Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn can be associated with more negative emotions, but yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's all collectively, right? So not everyone is impacted the same way. And then I'm sure that there are other factors that one has to take into consideration, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, when it comes to Moon in Pisces, is 110 also the level of fear.
So Moon in Aquarius, they're afraid probably what others will think of them. Society, Aquarius is society. Maybe the fear comes from that. What do others say? Moon in Pisces, it's more like, I cannot even say Moon in Pisces is super emotional. So it absorbs all the feelings of everyone else. And so whatever is the general vibration of feelings, they'll just absorb it from the environment.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, Moon in, assistant, please direct me. Thank you so much. Moon in Aries. Aries is 125, which is the level of desire.
Okay, Aries, desire, that's kind of connected even to sexual passion, I would say. That's a little bit, but yeah, I can imagine how that can be. Aries moons are more fiery emotionally. So I can definitely, there is more drive there than fear. It's a bit higher because desire, it is obsessive, but it's at least it drives you more.
Mm-hmm. Now, Moon in Taurus, the vibrational frequency is 50, which is the level of apathy.
That in astrology, Moon in Taurus is supposed to be the most stable place for the moon, where you're like most content and you're like, you don't worry what's happening, you kind of, but for them it's so important to have material stability. And I know how apathy will tie here, but I guess maybe there is, maybe collectively currently the majority of population that we were talking, that, you know, and most of them will not be watching this channel. The ones with the vibration below 200, usually these people, they're not interested in such things. They're not interested in self-growth. You know, they just want to survive. They probably can't even put food on their tables. And I would suppose it's kind of Moon in Taurus as a majority would be just people that care that there is food on the table and they don't care about anything beyond that. Emotionally, they just want that, and that's enough. So that's how I interpret it.
Now, Moon in Gemini is also 125, like Aries, and the level of desire.
I again, it baffles me. It seems with the moon we carry the more difficult manifestation. So it's I can't even interpret it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So what came to me, and Geminis can have these addictive patterns as well, right? So would it be like relationships
It's
seeking
to people, a
to
desire
people?
contacts with people, and Gemini is one of the most sexualized signs. People don't know that, but they're very sexually curious all the time, but they might have desire for, again, the air signs have desire for validation from others. The water signs have desire for emotional stability, so their fears are quite big. The earth signs have desire or kind of a big fear about material stability and so on. So I'm just trying to interpret it.
Now, Moon in Cancer is 110, which is the level of fear.
Wow. I guess Cancer is again survival of the family. and survival of the clan, of the borders of the country. It's more like maybe fear of this kind of source, nationalistic, family related, as the majority, again, moon in Cancer people everywhere are not like that. But a bigger percentage that would have moon in Cancer would have a lot of fear in them, especially for basic family survival, protection of their safety as well.
And it seems like I would say a lot of these things that you're mentioning right now are being triggered also on the collective level. All the fears, right?
Recently. So who knows, maybe we dropped in the past 1 year big time. And
right, and these measurements are done during this time. So absolutely, I think it will be fascinating to read maybe the year 2046, like we've done the collective frequency, to see what's happening then.
Collectively.
All the, right? I think so.
This is amazing, because otherwise it's discouraging if the vibration of it's always like that. It's like, I think it shifts, it can be. But currently what's happening, and if it's changed, you know, and if it's like that, whoever is scaring the hell out of us is doing a great job. Whoever aims to scare us, because the moon rules the astral body, the emotional body, and with such low readings, someone is doing a great job from the shadows. Like you read shadow players, that they're people that incarnate here specifically with shadow role to play, a role to play as the bad guys.
Yes, and they're doing a great job, because so many people are in fear, right? And this is the biggest virus, as I call it, is the virus of fear.
Yes, it's incredible.
Right. Moon in Leo is 200, the level of courage.
Okay, one good moon. My moon. Yay.
Your moon is in Leo?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, you know, I guess Leo is a courageous sign. It's the sign of a leader, and when everything gets, you know, they have to be the more optimistic ones to bring out the others from the dark.
When things get ugly, Leo comes out.
It's known as quite positive sign. They like to have fun, they like to joke, and maybe this is what's keeping currently the vibrational level of moon in Leo, because they're not so concerned with safety, about money, home, food. They're like, and I'm sure it put they just want to keep things more exciting. So more keep things together, to show like a ruler, and you know, to keep up their spirits, and so they need courage right now.
Yes,
like they're in control. Moon in Virgo is 100, the level of fear.
They're worrying about their health the most right now. Probably Virgo is connected to health, to cleaning everything, to
a lot of OCD.
Moon in Virgo is known a bit as OCD, and they worry a lot emotionally. They're very emotionally worried a lot about what's going wrong or what can go wrong. A bit hypochondriac sometimes. Not all Virgo moons, but there is a tendency, and I'm sure it has been enhanced tenfold now in the world as a whole.
Yes.
Now, moon in Libra, 200, the level of courage.
Good. Libra is always trying to see the other side of the coin. You know, if it gets too dark, Libra goes on the right side to balance. If it gets too light and too, everything will be great, they go on the other side. So they always want to see the two coins. So maybe that's what's helping them have courage now. They're like, yeah, it's hard now, but maybe, you know.
Makes sense. Now, moon in Scorpio is 30, the level of guilt.
Wow, Scorpio is known as the most difficult position for the moon, because the emotions are very turbulent there, and there is trauma. Scorpio is, with the moon in Scorpio, often there was trauma in the family, and they learn to attune to the lowest vibration in others, because there was some trauma or there's some predator energy in their life when they were younger. They learn how to almost like instinctive, like an animal that's trying to protect itself, to smell when something is bad. And currently a lot of people with Scorpio moons or even suns, I'm sure they're smelling something rotten or maybe they're aligning to the, because it feels like the dark forces are very strong currently. And they always attune to what is wrong. This is moon in Scorpio, kind of like, I smell something is off, so maybe it's a bit harder to be positive with this. And then emotions are extremely intense there. And you said it's guilt or shame? What was it?
Guilt.
Guilt. Guilt. I don't know how it would be. Maybe guilt that they can't do anything about it because they're the ones that fight with monsters. They're the ones that fight with the dark forces. And I don't know. I wouldn't understand how, but some Scorpio moons can say if they've been feeling this more recently.
Moon in Sagittarius is 310, the level of willingness.
What is willingness?
Just willing and being willing and open to explore.
Okay, they're ready to travel. Moon in Sagittarius has the highest vibration. So
Yes.
it's known as the most positive sign. So I guess currently they're keeping up their spirit and they're like, come on, we're ready to go to travel. Maybe they're the ones keeping up their spirit the best. They have the highest vibration there. While
Yes.
the others much harder.
I will say
Moon in Sagittarius now.
because moon vibrates at low frequency, right?
Moon itself.
Moon itself. So if I don't know, I'm just
The moon itself was, I think, 50 or 55, something like that, right?
So it's how it impacts. Interesting.
Yeah, because it's our fear body. It's anything, the emotions, the fears, the irrational inclinations, the past conditioning. The moon is the past conditioning as well. So maybe Scorpio people have more tendency to have past conditioning from family to feel shame in some way, to feel guilt, the vibration. So maybe that's what it is as well. Well, moon in Cancer may condition also in past lifetimes to feel more fear, for security, for protection, to take care of the family. Moon in Leo, maybe to feel more courageous and so on. That's the conditioning.
Now, moon in Capricorn is 110, the level of fear.
Again, fear. Capricorn is a lot about safety, again, about control, trying to control everything, trying to keep everything, to foresee anything that can go wrong and keep it in check. That's one of the safety and regulations, one of the primary. And moon in Capricorn is known to have more fears as well, but it shows that all the other moons, basically, most of them are.
That's what I was just going to say, that it shows up in so many moons.
Yeah, I guess it's good to be Sagittarius moon, Libra moon, and Leo moon in those days, isn't it? It's easy emotionally, at least.
Or just know if you have moons in the other signs, you're not alone. Because most of us are going through it.
Exactly.
We have to do it collectively. We can do it.
Find your club. Or create one.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. Thank you so much, Elena.
Of course. You're welcome.
Covering, it's like makes us think deep, and you're exploring, I'm exploring. I don't know what it is. I ask others for help if they have insights to share. We don't want to tell you, we don't want to condition you, we don't want to make you feel negative. We just, Elena and Alejandro are just reading frequencies, and we're trying to put together. So please no judgment. Please no like, oh, I'm Taurus moon and sun so low. Am I low vibrationally? No, I'm telling you again, we measured people with our sun and moon individually it can be very different. Some of them are 550. So that's one of the, anything above 200 is fantastic. So like, don't think like that. Just maybe take it as a perspective how we're collectively currently. That
Yes.
work.
And I think it's also an invitation for us to read, I would say, the year 2046. I want to look at what's going to happen with moon and sun, all the different signs in that year, because it might give us a deeper insight, because the frequency of the collective is totally different.
Oh my God, let's see, because yes,
Let's do that.
Sandro and Elena figure out by measuring the frequencies of the future that something tremendous happens in 2046, where humanity jumps from, actually, you said that they jump from 400 then to 500.
350. 350 to 525.
To 525. So it means that from now to 46, we keep growing to 350, which is, was it neutrality, willingness? It was
acceptance,
which is very good vibration. But for the last 2,000 years, they measured and they saw that humanity has moved like 20 points only, a little bit.
Very little.
So you think the next 24 years, there is gradual, but very rapid compared to before ascension. So we're in the process already. And then suddenly, bam, aliens come and
and get ready to rock and roll.
or I think what we're all going through, based on the frequencies we just revealed collectively, we're working through our major collective traumas.
Karma and traumas. Karmic subcycle, we'll say.
Yes.
Wow.
We're doing the work. We're in the trenches as humanity. So we might as well embrace it all.
Well, thank you so much again, Elena, Alejandro, my family, my soul family. So I found you. If you'd like to, I put a link below for Elena and Alejandro's services or their group
membership. Yeah, the community.
Yes, I'm part of the community. I always try and catch up with because they do poets, writers, politicians, musicians, couples. It's fascinating. So thank you again. Have a wonderful week ahead, and I can't wait to see you in a few weeks, maybe, to do Mars in signs and Venus in signs.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you.